Did I load my bot? I don't think I did. Oh, I did. Never mind. I'm silly. I'm goofy. Okay. Hello. Hello. We're back at it again. Where was this at? Oh, that's where it was. Okay, so there's a few things. We're gonna see if I actually cough. I did a lot of coughing earlier. So we're gonna see if that still happens while I'm streaming. Oh, there we go. Saying hello to my friends in the FC. Uh, we have reached a new step in the relic. So currently, I always go for Nin relic first because that's the main. I'm sorry, I just, you know, it kicked in. So we went for Nin relic first because I always do that. Um, it looked cool. I don't know what the final form looks like, but we've hit a new step. The new step is this knowledge crystal, and I've already started some of it, but I saved all of this for stream because I just knew it's gonna take a while. Hi, Steven. Hope the day is going well. Um, hey, Hey, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday. Something was bothering my nose, sorry. But yes, we have this step of the relic. It is a lot. It's a lot. I think it's better than grinding out tomes to get the weapon and then having to grind out tomes again. Like doing it twice. That kind of sucks. That sucked a lot. That sucks so much. So, what I want to do, I want to go through. I'm trying to think, which one of these gave me the most issues? None of these really. Uh, Leveling dungeons. If I'm thinking of dungeons that I hate, it's this one. So let's just get Strayboro out the way. Let's get it out the way now. Get it out of the way now so we don't have to worry about it later. I'm not a big fan of Strayboro. Not a big fan of it. Oh, I cracked my neck. Oh, I should. Also, again, 14 has dropped. If you gift 3 subs, you get a mount in game. It's a rainbow. It's a rainbow unicorn. Parrish has it. I know Sig has it. Van has it. I think that's all the people I know currently who have it. What I didn't notice yesterday when we did this is that Van did the 3 subs. I didn't know he did tier 2 on the gifted subs. So that was a little extra. I was like, whoa. This is gonna be more of a vibe today. Whoa! Rara, thank you for subs. Good morning. Good morning. It is. It's a crazy. This has been a crazy bunch of days. Not only have I decided to become a morning streamer, apparently. Oh shit. Okay, hold on, Mr. Tank, please. Mr. Tank, I am being chased down by a geist. That's crazy. And his shot is not it. Do you know I've actually sly casted one of these like weapon skills with Smudge? I don't know how I pulled it off. It just happens once in a blue moon. Also, I wanted to get the most annoying dungeon out the way. And this is the most annoying dungeon I can think of. At least the first boss. Did I really go through that fast? I'm gonna have like little time to move out of the way. And then they're gonna all run back this way. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I thought it was me. Oh no. What? I know how to slide cast on White Mage, but also on Sage. What the hell? I don't know which way they're gonna go. I'm gonna die. This dungeon is so head ass. Let my Willy free. I still have never slide casted like the motifs. Still haven't done that yet. Yeah, I get hit by that? I did. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, I was wondering what that was. I have so many friends asking me or like asking like who's affiliate so they can get the mount. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm not used to advertising this much. I'm so not used to advertising. This much. They're like, hey, where can I go like drop my 3 subs off at? And I'm like, oh my god, I actually did it for once. Crazy. I think I got one yesterday from someone. I don't think I know them, but I very well could have. Oh, Astro needs a second before the next boss. Oh my god, confetti. That's rude. I mean, this campaign is cool for the simple fact that, like, I would not have expected so many people to... Well, I guess this is something that should happen. You know what I mean? I know everyone has their streamers they go to for 14. Mother trucker, your mom. Oh. But yeah, like, peeps in the FC have been asking, like, who's affiliate in our group? And there's like 2 of us, I think. There's 2 of us. Yeah, I think there's like 2 of us. One streams Ultimate, and then there's me who just does variety. I'm getting hot in this. What? So I'm looking at my FC chat at the same time. Well, I got time since Astro needed a sec. I almost put that in the wrong chat. Woo. People in this party chat would have been so confused. It would have been like, oh my god, what do you mean that's crazy? Okay, so hold on, let me see. What is this campaign? Okay, yeah, it's purchase or gift 3 subscriptions on Twitch while watching any channel streaming Final Fantasy 14 and receive an item code via your Twitch notifications for the following reward. Get unicorn. I want that unicorn. I should have saved money just so I can do that. Yeah, I think I would keep my same schedule, but obviously, like this week, very 14 heavy with the new relic stuff and Northhorn, and you know, it's giving me a reason to stream it more than one day. But I think during the downtime is when... Oh, they had dog aggro. Back here? Wait, did you get one already? Yeah, I was trying to see here. I was trying to figure out, like, what is the... I guess it's over here. Wow, we were safe that whole time. Oh, snap. Wait. Yeah, get your mount. Get your gay mount right now. Right now. Oh, I might be screwed. Or am I screwed? I am not screwed. Well, I'm out of range, so I'm just gonna do this. My downtime. Lucian, okay, I'm not gonna say anything crazy, but I went to pick up my money, my gil today. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, who? Why do I have two numbers here? Why is the number 2 here? And then I looked, I was like, oh. And then I became nosy. And then I sat there, I was like, oh, that's adorable. And then I went back to my ward. It was like you and one other person that were like in that area. And I was like, what? You know what? Yes, you are. And if anyone says otherwise, you tell them to eat an ass. All right? I was not paying attention, so I'm just hitting... I'm spamming AoE on nothing. Crying internally. Internally crying. Bitch. Oh, it's these hoes. But yeah, I lost my house. I will forever be homeless, except for the house I share with Parrish. I don't think I've ever gone this long without a house. Like without my own personal house. It feels awkward. Wait, it was adorable. Wow. Big fan. Can these heifers stop? You know what? Have that. I didn't mean to AoE that. There was a large Inshiro over here on Ferry. I did not have the money for it, and it was an individual, I think. Yeah, it was an individual house. So like it was a personal plot, so I could have gone for it, but I think it was like 50 mil for it. I think. Wait, let me see. I'm not opening up anything. Shut up. Oh, well. Ah! That was so freaking rude. I was not prepared. Yeah, it was an individual. 1 second. Oh, shoot. Yeah, you know what? I deserve that. I deserve that. Oh. Hold on. Oh, someone got him. Oh, it was this one first. I cannot slide cast to save my life right now. Part of me wants to transfer money to an alt I have and get them the medium, but then I would also have to transfer all the money that I could take that down. Oh. Why did you? I have a feeling that didn't finish. No. Yay, hammered them to death. Yippee. I leave. I forgot to accommodate somebody. I'm a bad friend. 1 second. I like how I replied to the DM, even though I just said it on here, but I replied to the DM anyways. I'm gonna burn down someone's house. In game, in game, in game, in game, in game. Not in real life. That would be crazy if I did that IRL. You see it on the news. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm putting up. No, this. There you go. I'll look at my inventory. Don't look. Let's see. Should I get... Actually, I'm gonna get field station out the way. For reasons. I like how I'm getting the dungeons out the way first because I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. That's it. I just don't. Oh my fucking god. I can't leave. Oh my. Guys, this is the end of the stream. This is... I can't believe I picked the same dungeon again. I'm crying. I'm crying. I was like, wow, this popped so fast. You know what? I'm just helping the community. That's it. I'm helping the people out. That is so dumb. was muted that whole time. Oh, we finished. Yay. Wow, that was fast, actually. I cannot believe I was muted. Actually, this happened yesterday. Yesterday, I muted because I went to do something. And... forgot I was muted. But it wasn't that I muted through like my stream deck. It was more that I muted through the GoXLR. So I didn't look down at my GoXLR going, oh yeah, I should unmute that. Until it was too late. Also, that last boss was kind of quick. I forgot to do this. Yeah, I have I don't have my GoXLR like right in front of me. So it's one of those things where I mute and then I forget. Now, if I do it on the stream deck, then at least I'll see that it's dimmed, and then I go, oh yeah, I should unmute. You know, just streamer things. That's all. Just streamer. Oh, my mouse is doing that thing again. We're almost out of here. It's okay. Also, if you are here and want the mount that's been advertised for drops, it's 3 subs. Purchased or gifted. All right, I didn't engage, so therefore, comma, ergo. I'm so happy I didn't start that now. I don't even think I did the thing correctly, but here we are in the club, working. Yippee! At least I know where to stand. Wow, that's really rude of them. How could they? Plushy Hades. Do I get clobbered by this? Oh, never mind. That was a bad idea. Hello, equally pretty man. But my buff. My buff. I did the same dungeon twice. I didn't mean to. I just happened to do it twice. I was supposed to do this one. Screaming internally. Never getting shit done. Never. Also, I lost my house today, boo. I lost my house. I lost my medium, my schmedium. Oh, let me take this jacket off. I'm hot. One second, I just got a package. If only I had face cam. What's new? I don't always get packages. Unless it's my meds. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Make it seem like I'm rich or something. Guys, please sub to me. I need the money. No. Oh, yeah, that, yeah. I got a house once, and that's when I was on Hyperion. And then all of a sudden, I moved twice to be near friends. And I've gone on the biggest losing streak of my life. It's been a year, maybe 2. Whoa, what is this? Oh! Oh! Oh, I got my game on the In Lupus stuff. Oh! Oh! Easter. Oh! It's cute! There's a little shirt. There's a little shirt, and then there's a little mug. I feel like there was supposed to be something else. It could be. Oh wait, no, that came already. Never mind. Oh! Yes. Sometimes I forget that we have the gift redemption stuff. And so thanks to you guys who gave towards the Lupus Foundation during Lupus Awareness Month, we normally have like a redemption form we fill out. And depending on how much we raised, there are certain... This is in bubble wrap. I'm so sorry. You want to hear it? How much money do I... You can sub and then gift 2 subs, I believe. Or you can gift 3 subs. And... Sorry, I'm popping bubble wrap. It's one of those combos. Let me read it back. Wait, do I even have it up anymore? I don't. That's crazy. 1 second. Announcing the Twitch Support a Streamer campaign. How to participate. Visit any Twitch partner or affiliate channel streaming Final Fantasy 14. You can purchase or gift a cumulative of 3 subscriptions of any tier to earn the reward. Oh my god, the mug is so nice. Wow! Wow! What? Oh wow, okay, Lucian got one too. That's a lot of My Hero Academia happening out of nowhere. That's a lot of My Hero Academia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, let me see. That's... Okay, yeah. I was like, that's them. And you should see them out in your notifications after. What is this on my cup? Will this get my stream muted? Maybe, I don't know. Prime cucked me. I was gonna say, wait, does Prime count? Does Prime... Well, thank you for the Prime still. And thank you for the 3 subs gifted. You can't see it, but I'm doing a cheers to you with my empty mug that I just got. I'm gonna have to wash out later when I take a break. And give me some soup. Get me some soup. I don't think I sound rough anymore, right? No? I don't sound like I'm sick. I don't sound like I've had a cold for 3 to 4 days. Almost a week. As I mute to cough. This mug is so cute. Wait, is this a sticker or is this actually like... Oh no, this is actually like... You sound fine? Great. Because I've been sick this past week. I've been sick. It was like excitement in that. It was like, you sound fine! And the website I'm in Minecraft. In Minecraft. Yeah. I think I've heard that Mog Station's been down through this. Or the... I guess it's a separate site, or is it Mog Station? I think it's Mog Station. Right? One of my friends was about to go do roulettes for the dispeller part of this relic, and I'm like, do North Horn. It will go by faster. I promise. I mean, it took me a couple days, but what the hell? That's a big ass mountain. Oh, it's Cerberus. Wait, no, that's Behemoth. Wait, was that house over here up for sale? No. That's the house I went for. Bitch asses. Anyways, thank you. I appreciate. Everyone's been everyone's been asking like, hey, who's affiliate in our little group? I'm like, raise his hand a little bit. Raise this. It's me. And then Parrish comes along. Okay, no, this is the funniest thing. I'm sorry, Parrish, but I think it's the funniest thing. I did not see this until I went to check the FC Discord. But someone asked, and then Parrish goes, please gift Norm subs so he can buy me nice things. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Bar none. Oh my god. All this is going to anime subscriptions. I just want you all to know that. Kind of perfect. What am I doing? Field station or what's the one I don't want to do the most? Is it Mesoterm? It's this one. What? It was great. I loved it. Every second of it. Every single second of it. Actually, I'm going to stay Pictomancer. I highly dislike Meso Terminal. Only for the prison part. It exposes me too much. What? God, I'm fucking sweating. Do you not like my honesty? I would take Mistwake. I would honestly take Mistwake. I would take... Actually, I would take this if I didn't have the solo part of it. The fuck? Sorry, what I'm seeing in FC chat is crazy. Talking about cockroaches and... Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop looking. I'm gonna stop looking. That's a lie. It's there. Yippee! Terminal. Oh my god, Parrish. I saw what you did. Yeah. Tinder Valley's nice.
You've come.
You've come. No, I haven't. That takes work. Thank you very much. Whee. I like Tinder Valley. I like the knockback mechanic, though. Yeah, that has that one knockback mechanic where you have to find which cactus doesn't have needles and then get knocked back into that area. But you also need to not also get hit by that. I'm about to smudge.
I've created new endless for you.
That's the
Not
one
all at
mechanic
once,
I can
but they
remember
will
from that.
follow
It also
orders.
has that mechanic
Kill and
where
survive and so forth.
you go into the death realm
Shall prepare to stay for battle.
and you have to figure out that puzzle of like, ah, get this man off me. You have to figure out which path takes you to the circle so you don't die. Oh, does it take a lot of work? Depending. It's gonna make me laugh and cough. That's so wild and crazy. Chat, this is so crazy. Can we get 3 gifted subs so you can get your gay unicorn? Why are you off to the side? Get from there.
The memories of a physician, one who saves lives.
You're very
should
light
be
behind on stream.
reluctant to die.
I've noticed for some reason, since we started, you know what I just realized? I was about to fuck up royally there. I was about to fuck up so bad. Oh my god, I'm hitting the wrong button. That was them first. Why does it feel like I smell something burning? Suspicious. Oh, I did not fix my thing.
You've overburdened the system.
Oh,
matter.
you've
It serves its
overburdened the
purpose.
system. Actually, I kind of want to listen to this song. I kind of want to listen to it. I like the theme here. Oh, I'm still on this one. I was like, why aren't I?
Next, we visit a prison of
AoE damage is still damage, I guess.
compel them to fight.
Whee! Dragoon. Crab Dragoon. I have too much time on my hands. That's what it is. I'm gonna hold on to this one, this motif. Why did it look like he was doing the Fall Guys emote? Whee!
These are loyal executioners. They shall deal appropriately with criminals.
Oh, they put me over here this time, you whores. Oh no. Oh yes.
Criminals may run, but they
Sir, why you do
cannot
that?
escape.
I don't know which one was first. Oh, it was over here first. Oh my god. I didn't tell you about last night, did I? Last night I was tired. How tired? Well, let me tell you a story all about how my life got spent turned upside down. Let me get this shit out of my way. Is it not dead yet? Move! Thank you. Hee. I am so dumb. It's okay. You know, I feel like I had this down better one time, but not while I'm in this part. I crit? I'm the last one this time. Okay, there we go. I feel like I could not get any of my motifs off. Maybe I should have. Are you home yet, by the way? Meow, 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 meow. It's like those. It's like those videos where it's just cats doing it instead. That's what I felt like I just did. Die! Thank you. Are you on this step? Wait, no, yeah, you're on. Yeah, you saved up.
Memories
So you're on this
fade
step, right?
with death. The desperation will serve well.
You are definitely not gonna win a run this after you get home, though.
To arms,
I know that for sure.
protect your kingdom.
I started them last night. Like the zones and the fates. I did 2 zones and then I went to bed. Because I was too tired from... Oh, so my story. I was tired from Thalia. I did roulettes last night because I wanted to get the 1500 that I needed. And Thalia was like a very fresh run. It felt like it was a very fresh run. And let's just say my co-healer died a lot, but at the same time was really antsy with the DPS for not using low blow. And internally I'm like, I don't know if you can penalize the DPS for not using low blow when you can't stay alive. I get people are new at content, but man, it was a lot. It was stressful. It was a lot, man.
Countless lives are lost in senseless conflict.
I tried to get that off before
In scope
that
and
happened.
intensity.
Did my thing just refresh?
The bombs rain down without pause or mercy.
I think I have time. I do. Oh, I'm still in this. I was like, was that me?
The spark of life is dimmed with every blinding flash.
Oh, this isn't good.
Death is everywhere, pillaging the promise of the future.
I was lucky. I was so lucky. Oh shit. I saved myself. I'm already third. It's fine. I'm afraid I would have smudged right on off. I was gonna say, wow. Wow. Wee. They're all like GG's. You can have it. I don't want. I don't want it at all. You can have it. Yeah, I don't stream on the weekends. Sorry, I just looked at FT Discord. I don't stream on the weekends. Unless, no, I'm kidding. I don't. I don't. All right, what's the last of the experts that I hate the most? I'm kidding. I don't hate this one. It's just I get really nervous on the final boss. I'm pretty sure. All right, really quick before I do this one, I'm gonna take a small break, and by small I mean a lunch break because I need it. So be right back. Give me a moment. I'm still sitting here. Hi. I was looking for a song to put on. I was looking for a song to put on, but yeah, I need to get soup so that I don't cough up 5 lungs while streaming. Drink my soup. You know what? Where's the Campino one? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Yo, enjoy. Doing art today? Are you doing art? I mean, getting it's getting better. Wait, are you gonna do 14 as well? You're doing art, okay. I was gonna say, are you doing art? Or are you doing 14? Both. Okay, even better. Even better. I'll just send everyone over there after I'm done here. Yeah. This past week has been funny because I've been well, I haven't been semi sick. I've just been sick. So so I've been uh the last few days since Tuesday, I've been just kind of streaming so that why am I talking on the scene? I'll talk on the scene. I've been streaming because of North Horn and all the new stuff that came out. Well, mostly North Horn stuff. And everyone's been asking like, "Hey, like are you going to be streaming the next days? I want to get the unicorn mount." So I'm like, "Yeah." Uh, I'm like, "Yeah, I have. I will be. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know." So that's kind of been a thing. But it's been a lot earlier than I normally stream, as you can tell. Probably. I normally start at like 2 around this time. I'm actually almost at the time that I start streaming. Funny enough. Yeah, Northhorn is fun. Um I saw the 14 tweet this morning when it was posted yesterday, but I saw it on my timeline this morning. And it was like um no clipping into the back rooms because Games Radar did an article about it. And I was like, "Oh." But yeah, explore all of it. Do that. It's so fun. It's such a nice area. And I think a lot of the critical engagements and the fates and so forth are really fun. And the lore too, I guess. The lore is good too. Flip's hair. I don't have hair. What am I doing? What am I doing? Yes, explore all of it. It's so big. Like it's so vast. I'm not bald. Wait, hold on. I'm not bald. I'm not bald. I just keep my hair short. Listen, I don't envy the work everyone with longer hair than I have has to put into that. I don't envy it. I can't do it. I personally cannot do it. Oh shit. I cannot do it. It is one of those things where I just cannot keep up long hair or hair that's longer than a short. So I'm so like envious when I see Val with the good hair. And I'm like, "Oh my god, look at them. Look at their hair. It's so nice." I wish I could have hair like that. But I keep it short. Also, where's my tissues? Oh my god. A lot of maintenance, but yeah, that's the word I was looking for earlier. Looking for. Throwing my bubble wrap in the recycle bin. Sorry, I'm looking at my I'm looking at the link show. Yeah, I always look at that. I'm like, "Oh my god, they have such nice hair." I think I could have had longer hair if, as a baby, my hair didn't get messed up by a certain barber that I was taken to. So the way they cut my hair, it messed everything up and weren't able to recover it. So also just like keeping it short. Yeah, if I showed my baby picture, you would see I had this nice afro. Oh my god. I look at it all the time. I'm like, I had this nice afro and yes, I think I have to ask my mom. I have to. I don't think she would have taken me to. I don't think she would have taken me to that. I think so. Maybe, maybe not. The barber I ended up getting in childhood after though, he was great. He was awesome. I miss him. It's getting expensive though. He used to do it by age. So like I would age up a year and then the price would increase. So you can imagine by the time I hit my 20s. I think I started doing my own hair then. Maybe. Yeah, I got my own set of clippers to do that. And I do my own hair. I cut my own hair very nicely. Oh, it's so fun, right? It's so nice. Like my fondest memories. You know, here, I'll do dungeon while I'm talking about this. Which scene? There it is. My fondest memory is going up. Well, the barbershop I used to go to, it's no longer there now, but it was in the neighborhood. Would go up there, make an appointment, call him, be like, hey, I need haircut because it's picture day or it's, you know, need to go to like a service or something. And he's like, how you want it? And I'm like, I want it short. I want it stubble. So you want it one? I was like, yeah, sure. But he always hooked me up. But also the conversations that would happen in the barbershop, unmatched. You would never hear that ever again. Never. Never, ever. Never hear it. My barbershop was really active, really funny, honestly. Like, I miss the atmosphere, I think, a little bit. I miss it a little bit. That game system where I could watch you play Mortal Kombat. I think we had a little cabinet too, like in the back, but I think it was out of order after a while. But it was always conversations when I went in, so I always heard about like the latest happenings and always heard like I remember we talked about wrestling once. We talked about wrestling once because my mom brought up that I would watch, at the time, WWF. And how it was a soap opera for men. Like that was the general consensus in the barbershop. I loved conversations in there. It was great. I loved it. Actually, no, I should get the suit. I should get the suit. Okay, I'm at BRB. I'm gonna wash out my mug. I'm gonna wash out my mug, get tea, get soup, and be right back. Okay? Okay. I appreciate y'all. Hang tight. I just realized something. One of the people's names in the last dungeon was Dead Body, and it was the white mage. I just found that funny. That's all. Wanted to share that. Wanted to share all of that with y'all. All right, my friends. We continue. I looked at my chat. I looked at my chat and I just looked at the names that said GG. And they're like, thanks. And I'm like, Dead Body. What does their... Hold on. Can I look at their adventure plate? Oh, well... I like their rainbow pumpkins. Fruit? Bananas? Plantains? What is this? Oh, the hunt. Me too, I am also a mentor. Did you know that, chat? Did you know? Did you know that I too? Did you know that I too am a mentor? Me too, man. Me too. Norm, what did you do to get that? I sucked a lot of penis. That's what I did. Not really, but... but... I guess it finally happened after I got my 15 Mentor. Okay, I gotta stop. I got my suit. It's hot as shit. Okay, anyways. Sorry. I had no other way to describe that. It is hotter than the pavement in DC in the summer. No, the last 2 summers here have been crazy. They have been hot. They have been hot. It's hotter than a witch's coochie. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, DC summers have been really hot recently. Yes. Absolutely. I think it's even worse if it's like if there's no tree coverage on that street, which here at least in my neighborhood, a lot of the older trees have been cut down. So there's no tree coverage. There's none. We suffer. We suffer. No, that's evil. That's evil. That's so, yeah. I mean, to be honest, a lot of those trees are really old. And some of them look like they were one hurricane away from falling onto the apartments or my house or the house next to us or both of our houses. Our houses are really close. we are really close to our neighbors. They can hear us and we can hear them even when they're the third house down. We can hear them. Or that connected. Yep. It happens. It happens. Eyes. No, not like connected like like Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jean Grey. Not like that connected, but like but you know, attached. That's how. Yeah, attached. We're attached, kind of. Yo. Could you imagine if houses were like that, where you had a built-in door to either of your neighbors, and you're in the middle? You're in the middle house, and you're just like, you know what? I want to go see Betsy. And you open up the door, and you go see Betsy. Imagine you're taking a shower and your neighbor just walks in for a bag of sugar. It's like I have so much time in the day to think of these like situations that I should be stopped. Okay, like I get sick and then I think of shit. Ask Parrish. He's had to deal with most of it. I'm not gonna expose like what he said earlier, but just imagine I ran with it a lot. Just imagine it. The fuck you say? Something about August. That's all. That's all I can put out there. The rest of it stays in RD. Yes. And then I said, I have the best whore friend. Anyways, screaming. I giggled. I giggled, okay? I said it and I giggled. Oh my God. Babe. The way you teleported in, I was like, whoa, wait, who teleported in so fast? Oh my God. Chat. You know, isn't he the cutest? Isn't he just... Oh, what? Why are you making that face? Why are you making that? Why you make that face? Why you make that face? Look, just look at him. He's so cute. Okay, you know, screen cap that. Do it again. Thank you. Oh God, I'm sweating. Oh. He's such a bean. I love him. I gotta get tissue. I'm crying. Oh my God. Woo. Boy, I tell you, I have a keeper. It's me. I have the keeper. He is so funny. Whew. Wait. It's like, why you creep up like that? Sorry. The way he walked up like that. Hey. Look at his brown eyes. Oh my god. You're inside of me now. I fear he's inside of me, Chad. Oh. 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 I fear he. Where'd he go? Okay. I kidnap. He started playing Scholar a lot recently. Wait, have you always played Scholar? I know you always played Dancer. He started playing Viper more. I'm trying to think what else. I know he played White Mage the most. Yeah, okay, that's what I was gonna say. Monk and White Mage. So I leave all the healing to him, kinda. When I'm alone, I don't. Like last night during Thalia, whoo, child, whoo. Never again. Okay. Enjoy lurks. I will take us into dungeon because I like getting the dungeon out the way. Actually, in fact, which one was I doing? Oh yeah, field station. I was like, which one was I doing? Wait, that's so fast. I forgot to change class. Now chat. I have the DMV portrait. Who is this? What? Even the portrait, please. I love the portrait. Do you know something I've noticed that most casters don't do is they don't try to attack from whatever magic range is. I'm gonna call it magic range. That's something I've noticed during polls. I did not take my meds either. I should probably learn to sleep these things, huh? Also, for those who are wondering about the drops, you can gift 3 subs, or you can sub no prime, unfortunately. but you can sub yourself and then gift 2 subs afterwards. Oh, I'm so silly. I forgot to do this. If you're wondering why I never picked up Picto as like a thing I use for raid, okay, that's silly. I don't know. I felt like I was never really that good with casters. But Picto is the most fun I've had with a caster. We're so good at this. Little extra mitigation there. Little extra mitigation there. Ah, what are those? That's exactly how I would have thought for them to say it. Rotten researcher. Kind of gnarly when you think about it. Oh my goodness. Oh, whatever that noise was, it was cute, and I'm very sorry about it. Also, I never ate food. I never ate food, so I was doing this raw and without food. Oh, those get resistant. Never mind. Oh my god, I heckin' love materia. Hey, Turret. I am still recovering, funny enough, from a cold, but I sound okay. I still have a cough. I still have some congestion. Yeah. We finally got to the last part of it, and no. All right, we're good. Yeah, but if I'm to be honest, I would take this over having to grind out tomes so much. We are really getting through this pretty fast. The thing that's gonna suck is when people who are going through like all the relic steps, trying to get all the relics as they start the game, like they're just playing for the first time. I feel bad for those folks, because after people are done with this, they're not gonna want to do this again. Like they're not gonna want to go back to a lot of these dungeons like they are now. So I feel kind of bad for anyone new who's gonna come in. Yeah, you only have to do the will once. You only have to do this part once. And then yeah, and then you just do roulettes and get your tomes, so you can get the material to upgrade the weapons to the final step. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my god, I almost forgot the rotation. I feel like I didn't do something right. What if I smushed in? All right, enjoy. Also, if you don't have gay mount, you should totally go for a gay mount. Gay unicorn mount. Hey, look at you. So proud of you. I'm becoming a black mage and not moving. That's crazy. I am just on the edge of that. That's crazy. I can still reach. Which way is it gonna go? Oh, that way. I want to smudge so bad. Yeah, this is my cousin. Oh my god, a healer who moves in front of my salad? I know it's the wrong time to do this, but what? No, not that way. Oh wow, we're out of here. Now you can jump in the hole. I remember the first time I jumped in the hole. Yeah, I can't believe I did Pictomancer again. I can't believe I did Picto again. Do you want to run Stray Burrow and stuff as well? I don't mind. I did it twice already. What's that third time? Oh, you've done Cinder Valley and Stray Burrow. And I've done Stray Burrow, now the field station, Meso Terminal. I haven't done Cinder Valley yet. Why not? Let's go for it. Hold on. Before we do. There we go. Oh my god. I need it. He said, I'm making him do it when he doesn't need it, chat. By the way, I've never played Machinist to the optimal point ever, so this is gonna be great. I like how I can shoot forward and still catch them. If this were WoW, they'd be like, you have to be facing your target. And I'd be like, I am facing my target backwards, so. Do I have anything that would stop this? Oh my god, he was stunned. Yay, he died. I messed up already. Was it me? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, was it me, Jesus? Yeah, we're screwed on that one. I'm stuck on a rock. I went to eat soup. I got stuck on a rock. But it wasn't a rock. It was a rock lobster. Rock lobster. Amazing. I love flamethrower because it gives me time to heat. And dick about. So I'm not that powerful on Machinist. Leaves. Oh, okay, sure. Yippee! You can tell when I go to do something because there's such a delay between when I do my next action compared to when I'm fully paying attention. It's so funny. All right. Oh, it's right here. Oh, I was right. There is an extra person there. For some reason, I didn't think there was an extra person there. Oh my God, serpent! Oh, wait, that didn't go through at first. Interesting. Excuse me, sorry. Yippee! Easy. No one died. Interesting setup. Oh my God. uh, Yippee. Yippee. Wee 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 wee. Wee wee wee. Who is this running around? I feel like today has been the most active day in Shirogane. Like, at least this ward. I've seen so many people run by. I've seen so many people just run by where my apartment is. This place is normally dead. Also, don't I look snazzy? So snazzy, like a hitman with a gold gun. All right, put that away. Next up on the expert roulette. We might as well get Alexandria out the way now. I'm trying to think, is this one? Holy shit. Hold up. Alexandria. Alexandria. Damn. I was wondering why the portrait was not set for this. And I was like, I thought I set this already. Guess not. I guess not. Summoner. I really should update the book he has. All right, let me know when you're ready, boo. People are doing TFs for the dungeons. Serpent that looks like a fucking bean because the best bean is serpent. What am I on? Oh yeah. Best bean. We love serpent. We can love serpent here.
To the memories of better days, I bid farewell.
This is correct. Sorry, I had to
Princess Fiend is here.
reply to something. Did you hear? Carbuncle. I didn't want to use Garuda here yet. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba.
Your smile means
Ba ba ba.
If I smile, it is because you all smile for me.
It's because you all smiled for me. Now bend that ass over. Let that hoochie breathe. Bitch, why you put that all the way out there? What? What'd I say? What'd I do? What did I do? Well, The lyric is different. The actual lyric is let that coochie breathe. I didn't want to say that, and now I did, and now I feel gross. Da-da-da. Can I whack you with my book, please? Can I actually auto attack whack with? Oh, never mind. Show the gym or whatever. Yay, yippee! Show the gym!
You are my people.
Show them the
I will
boombox!
protect you.
I did not get tea, by the way. I only grabbed soup. Only grabbed the soup. I think tea would have taken a little longer, which is why I didn't. Tea is leaf soup. Also really good for my voice. Oh, damn. I'm trying so hard not to use the other one because I know what would happen. Na 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 da 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 la 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 la. You know what I just reminded myself of? There's a scene in Given. It's early. It's a very early scene where Mafuya hums out the song that he's been hearing from like his mom and so forth. Like he said he heard it from somewhere and he hums it out. And that's where I forget the love interest name. Wow, that almost hit me. Insane. I should find the scene. I love Given so much. Given is like one of my favorite anime. It's like BL anime.
Security breach confirmed. Initiating level 5 security protocol.
I think I messed up. I like tea. I've been doing a lot of herbal tea lately. And I think I'm gonna continue that trend instead of just getting a lot of caffeinated like teas. Like I have an orange. I have an orange peach tea downstairs, or orange, or not orange, peach. Sorry. Fuck, dude. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Let's go this way. It's like a ginger peach tea. That's what it is. Sorry. A ginger peach tea. It's really good. Hi, in. And it's dead.
Fear not. You will all live on.
I realized I never do the go live thing on Blue Sky anymore.
Endless.
I like forget. I forget so much. I really do. This is the most content you're ever gonna see out of me until Evercold. I just realized that. It's the last leg too, right? How you doing, Yen? Have you been doing your relic for this? You're okay. You could be better. What can we do? Who do we need to stab? Tell me. Who do I need to give my cold to? I mean, I think it's way past contagious stage at this point, but like, if I were still contagious, who do I need to give it to? Tell me. Have you been doing it in Northhorn, or you been doing it like with the roulettes? Northhorn, yeah. I like that the chances are better in Northhorn, because I think it promotes staying actually in Northhorn and actually getting used to like the environment and all that, and being able to see all the duties and so forth. But yeah, I found that's the fastest way. It's like, here, damn. Yeah, it really does give a lot, though. I think I was halfway through on Tuesday. I just realized I used an AoE that time. Here, damn. Gal. We don't want you here. Why'd I do that? Oh. I don't even play this job. Oh wait, is it the thing first? Oh my god, my little Carby. But I like Northhorn though. It looks really nice. I think I was talking about this earlier. It looks really nice. A lot of the activities are pretty fun in my opinion. Except for that one that has been like eating my ass the entire time. Yeah, it's very pretty at nighttime. Very pretty at nighttime. Oh no, it's gonna be like annihilation, annihilation, annihilation. Oh no. Oh shoot, hold on. Okay, there we go. Yes, Mr. Samurai Man. whose last dungeon this is. Why did I go back there? You know what? I am so smart. For real, chat, I am so smart. That man got decimated. There's no other word for it. That man got decimated. You want to talk about? That man got laser beamed into the next century. God damn. It's like, how can I get an early retirement? And I go by standing in that laser beam. And that's exactly what he did. Bless his heart. Underkeep, Mistwake, Cludium. Sorry, Cludium. Sorry, Cludium. They say it's Cludium. So I must adhere to the pronunciation rules of the land. Okay, enjoy eats. Get doted. Go enjoy my apartment or wherever you're gonna go. He's so cute. I just want to eat him up. I'm gonna eat him with a spoon and a spoon. Did you find the Cludium? Yes. It's very cold. It's he's so cute. I love him. Hi. I don't know about humid. I don't know about humid, but it's very cold, very snowy, a lot of white stuff. What else? There's a lot going on in the Cludium. There's a lot. There's a lot of monsters in there. I don't know how they got there, but they are there. They do the thing. Yeah. You know how Angela Bassett did the thing? They also did the thing. Well, Yen. Well, yes. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You will have to go do that dungeon. Do the story and do that dungeon. It's not a bad dungeon. It's fun. I think the story's good too. And we still have like one more story to go. One more story. One more. One more story. The Underkeep, aka Shell ASMR. Do I want to say ranged? Do I want to go? I want to say caster or fizz. You know what? Back to Pictomancer. But here's the kicker, okay? Before we go into the Underkeep. Because I really love the Underkeep. I want to wear this. I want to wear this instead. I should make this my Pictomancer. Actually, you know what? This is not my Pictomancer fit. Hold on. Link. No. Yes. Who would have thought? Not me. But Norm, you look like a farmhand. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He looks cute. Look at him. Are you telling me, even if he were a farmhand, you wouldn't pick this man up? Are you telling me? Like, come on. Like, come on. I know he has some hidden money somewhere. I just know he does. I know he has some hidden money somewhere. He keeps trying to put my glamour prisms in there, and I don't like that. I'll get my retainers when I end stream. Wow, 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 wow. If you guys haven't gotten your mount yet, by the way, there are drops for this. There are drops, but you have to do a sub, 3 subs. You could do 1 for yourself, and then 2 gifted subs, or 3 gifted subs, and you get mount. It's very gay. It's very nice. I don't have it. I'm broke. So all your money is gonna go towards someone else. I'm kidding. Actually, what is the time limit for this? From when does it end? August 25th. Oh, I can get it. I'ma get it. I'm gonna find someone to spend money on. So I too can have gay horse. Can you? I don't think. I mean, I'm broke anyways, but I can't. It works? What? What? Normally they stop that. Normally they stop that. That's crazy, actually. That's pretty wild. Bow, bow, bow. And I love Shirogane so much. So much. So nice. So peaceful. So colorful. Ah, the colors. Sam, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Me either. I mean, I knew you could, but I didn't know if it would work for the promotion. Because there's a whole promotion where you can gift subs and get them out. Or you can sub and then gift subs and get them out. Or you can go to 3 different channels and sub to 3 different Final Fantasy streamers and then get them out. I'm guessing that's how that works. That would work as well. There's so many combinations. You can gift 3 subs. You can sub to the channel you're watching while gifting 2 subs. Or you can gift 3 subs to a channel. Or you can gift 3 subs in 3 different channels. Or yeah, like 1 sub in 3 different channels. Or 2 subs in 2 different channels. Like one sub in 2 different channels. Norman Reedus, that's crazy. Hi CJ. Hello. Having 3 subs but only 1 mount. Shaking my head. But yeah, I didn't know whether or not the gifting to self worked as well. Oh, hi Milo. I don't know why I said it like that. Don't mind me. I did lower lift for the first time in months. My legs may or may not function the next day. Well, next few days. Well, take care of your legs. Number one, ice them if you have to. Prop them up nice. Yes, yes. I haven't done anything with legs in a while. I need to get back to working out. Maybe after this cold passes. You're going biking later. You are a madman. I want you to know that. You are a madman. Why would you do this to yourself? Why? Why? My legs hurt. Let me go biking too. What? No, don't do that. You know, you can cancel. You can always cancel. You can always hold off and rehab your legs. That's my best M. Bison voice. Did you know that? Thank you for the 3 gifted, Milo. And enjoy Unicorn. Unicorn of gayness. Yeah, slay. I sound like a straight man trying to be gay. Like trying to be part of the culture. Yes, slay, queen, slay. Knocking boots down, girl. Yeah. That hurt. That actually hurt. I'm sorry. So many cool people have gotten subs today, and I think it's really nice. It's also really nice that this is going on because I'm broke and I needed it. So you guys are helping. But it's also very kind because everyone's been asking me if I'm streaming or if I'm an affiliate and if they can gift subs on my channel to get them out. And I'm like, what? Hi, yeah, hey, hi. It's me. Me affiliate. I just realized we're still in queue and it hasn't popped. Who's not doing the underkeep? Well, CJ, yes. 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 That's all I can say. Yes. I think after we're only using you, I mean, wouldn't be the first time. What? Who said that's crazy? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
There are beasts ahead of you. They must have gotten in and made themselves at home.
Oh, I'm digging myself a hole. Instead of digging in holes. Man, that's so crazy. Oh, that's worse. That's worse. It is. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I know what everyone wants. They want them out and they're asking if I'm going to be live so they can put the money somewhere, at least to someone they know. And I just happen to be the one that they know that streams full time. I did AoE instead of single target. I am so good. There we go.
There should be an access hatch nearby that leads inside. Look for an opening.
You're also a bestie. This is true. I can't let the imposter syndrome actually like show itself right now. I can't let it show. Ah! Bitch. Yeah, I said I need to start downloading them and putting them on YouTube so you guys can go to YouTube and watch the whole stream. The downside of watching it on YouTube, though, is that you won't hear all of the music. That's the downside. But I'm sure you can just add music in the background yourself, right? You know, just like, yeah, man, he was so jamming to I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Oh my God, that's so crazy. He's so real for that. He's so real.
You'll have to deal with it to continue on.
It's gonna disappear. Almost got that off. It always goes to this one, right? Oh! I was too far in. I thought I was safe. I wish it weren't so... I wish music wasn't so outlawed with streaming, kinda. Like, I don't know. The way I see it is you're practically giving free promotion with the music you listen to on stream. And someone asks, they're like, hey, what's that song? Or you have the song title on your stream or something. I don't know. Maybe that person goes and buys the record after they hear it here. Is all I'm saying. Are you gonna turn around? See the way I top down that?
Now, proceed to the access hatch and head inside.
I think I've told this fun fact before, but if you were here for the Into the Mist MSQ streams or stream, because it was one stream. It might have been two. Was it this one? Yeah, no, it was this one. When we got this dungeon and meet like no, it wasn't Into the Mist. What was the one this dungeon was in? Or whatever update had this dungeon specifically. Hearing the music for the first time, I started tearing up.
Everkeep's construction was apparently a constant battle.
I've gotten used to it now,
rising
but
water level. Even during the war, the people labored to maintain
I was
the
so
castle.
excited for it because I was like, oh
It
my
meant a
god,
lot to them.
it's Alexandria.
Upsetting to think that preservation's terminal is in this place.
Oh, sorry, I gotta stretch. I gotta stretch my butthole. What? Don't worry about it. Just usual things. I'm pretty sure if there was like a norm core, it would consist of every random thing I've said while playing like Final Fantasy or Once Human or insert game here. Rainbow Six Siege. Oh my god.
Let us
I'm
measure
so
your
happy you
strength.
guys were not here for the Siege days. I am so happy. Oh. Terrible pick though I am. That's so wild. And that's so Raven. I like how the dancer's not in this, by the way. Dancer, get in this. I just gotta stretch. I noticed that Persh and I had the same idea in this dungeon, where on that mechanic we move, but we also move in the same direction. All right, we don't have to worry about it.
That was hardly a challenge, I see.
Oh, that's
You will
ugly.
show me more. I bid you press on.
Too gaudy, too gaudy, too gaudy for me. But yeah, there should be a code that goes straight to your notifications after you do the thing. In case you haven't gotten it yet, or haven't seen it yet. Murder them all! Murder! And I brought you murder. Judas. Do you think I can sleep this thing before it does the thing? Get wrecked! I can't do that one. I was too late. I was gonna be too late.
You are untroubled thus far, but I have something that may test you yet.
I still have how many more dungeons to go after this one? After expert,
This machine has
I still have
long
these to
guarded
go.
These crumbling halls.
oh my god, stone. That's so real.
How will you handle this? Let us introduce more weaponry. Let us see what this is. Perhaps a new approach to assess your adaptability.
One of these go across, yeah.
Still alive. How unfortunate.
Wow. What do you mean by that?
For you to die here, it would save me trouble later.
Wait for it. Still one more.
I'm beginning to understand how you were able to defeat Queen Eternal.
Move over, move over, move over, move over. They ran to the same spot to force me out. That heifer. I cannot believe it. Oh, you know what? At least I have my husband here. Adorable. He gets pets. Meatballs. Ooh, I really do have to stretch. Okay. Ugh. Oh my god, it's almost 3. It's 3. I've been live for 3 hours. I'm gonna take a vocal break, and by vocal break I mean I'm gonna end stream. I think Demi is on, so I'm gonna send y'all the Demi. I'm gonna send y'all to Demi. You know why? You know why? You know why? Never mind. I'm pretty sure I'm following Demi, so they should pop up. Wait, are they not live yet? Hold on. Hold the phone. No, they're not live yet. Arr. Let's see who's on. Hearing Shirogane in the background. um so much Pal World going on. Dude, Pal World is so fun. It's like, what is this? Mm, I'll end. I can't find anyone. Can't find anyone. You're gonna log in and start? Start right now. Right now. Good news, everyone. I found the last piece for the hot. Yes, I am ending. I'm gonna give myself rest, relaxation. Yes. I'm turning down Final Fantasy in my ears because it's loud. It is so loud. Oh my goodness. I'm looking at chat in game now too. Wow. All right. Time for y'all to not look at. Wait, what the hell? Oh, that was from earlier. We're gonna wait for Demi to go live, chat. Because I'm sending you straight over to them. Straight over. You get to watch art in 14. And you can also gift them subs when they play 14. Hopefully. Cross his fingers. So how's everyone doing while we're conversing? We're chilling out in the afterglow of stream. I might start with Rivals, uploading them to YouTube and see how they do. If they don't do well, then I'm gonna quit YouTube forever. I'm kidding. Hitting start, okay. Okay. Goes to Ray channel. Following. Channel name. Wait, let me make sure I am. Okay, no, I am. I was gonna say, girl, if I was not following, I was gonna kick myself. I was gonna kick myself in the shin, and I'm fragile, so that would hurt. That would really hurt. Wow, look at that dumpy on the screen. Look at all that movement. All right, I'm sending y'all to Demi. Y'all have a good rest of your days. As always, Among Us. As always, take care of yourselves, each other, most of all your friends and family. I will see y'all maybe tomorrow. It depends on how I feel. All right, that's been this whole week. It depends on how I feel. And then I've been going live early. It's wild. All right, I will see y'all soon. Bye. Love your faces. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.